And here we are again. Yeah, both talking at once.
Right.
We have
Well,
to get over that. Yeah, we do. I'm glad we made it to the studio. We have been doing so much unpacking and clearing out stuff.
I know. We're dealing with stuff right now.
We're dealing with our stuff. I hope you're not dealing with your stuff, but if you are, be cheerful and optimistic, and know that just because you loved it in 1984 doesn't mean you need it in 2013.
Right, or 12 as the case may be.
However, I have to reckon what to do with my T-shirt collection.
Your T-shirt collection?
Yes, none of which fit me anymore.
Oh dear. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I was going to just give them away to grandchildren or whoever wanted them, and then I saw that wonderful bag you had that you can put things in and make it infinitesimally small.
Yeah.
And I thought,
you mean the bags, the squishing bags?
So the trick,
Stephen.
the trick is to discern.
Just because we can store it doesn't mean we have to keep it.
But yes, I understand that, but there's sentimentality involved. Like, don't you have an old prom dress that you wouldn't? You don't have an old prom dress?
No, I don't have an old prom
Did you ever go to a prom?
No.
No, you never.
Well, I went to a dance.
A dance.
I went to school dances. They weren't quite the same thing
Forget
as
it.
a prom.
Okay, forget it.
I mean, we didn't have limousines and corsages and...
Your wedding dress when we got married, you have that?
No, I don't think I have that anymore.
You don't have that?
I did for a long time. And
Sentimental woman, yeah.
I think I think when we moved out of the first place we lived in Grafton on Sartell.
Yes.
I think.
You offed your wedding dress?
Well, I figured
I'm
I
crushed.
was never going to be that thin again, and I think I was probably right.
I'm crushed.
I was awfully thin. I wouldn't want to be that thin anymore.
Well, I don't have
be a good
my college yearbook. That walked.
It did?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
It did. It walked.
It must be in there somewhere.
No, it isn't. I remember. I looked and looked, and I don't have my college yearbook. Oh. I didn't like the picture of myself in my college yearbook.
Well, actually, I didn't have a college yearbook.
I had a real dinky haircut.
I had a high school yearbook.
You have that?
I have that.
Well, that's good. Now, you're going to keep that?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you read it every night? Do you look through it?
Well, no, but I like it for a reference.
And you look at her and something wrong?
No, your hair, I just wanted to fix it.
It's supposed to look...
It looks pretty.
It's supposed to look truffled.
It's supposed to look truffled?
Truffled.
Honey,
yes.
Truffle is like a little mushroom that grows in the ground.
Well, that's what my hair's doing, like a little mushroom. It's growing in the ground, yeah. And pigs will dig it.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just trying to make you happy. That's why I'm here.
You do make me happy.
I do make you happy?
Yes, you do.
Good. Then you don't care what I keep, really.
Well...
If it makes me happy, I mean, I'm trying to make you happy, and you're trying to make me happy.
Yeah, well, those are good things to do. But, okay, here's my proposition about these things. Supposing we pack everything that we want to keep, into the space, all right?
Into the space.
And then we see if there's room left over for things that we don't really need but have sentimental value. Does that make logical sense to you?
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because a lot of things we want to keep, we only think we want to keep them because they look important.
Not because they look important, but because they're necessities for wearing.
Oh, I was talking about things like a fondue pot.
I don't need a fondue pot.
I know, but I haven't had fondue since...
Well, you can get it in a restaurant.
Where?
Some
where?
restaurant.
Come on, where?
Well,
where in Grafton can you get fondue, folks?
Well, I don't know.
Call the station. Chris is standing by with a phone bank, waiting for your calls to tell us where in Grafton fondue is on a menu. I would like to know.
Well, I haven't heard about it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Sound like Dan Rather, you know. Fondue in Grafton? I don't think so. Maybe Wong's would have it.
That's Chinese. Chinese people don't do fondue.
That's a Chinese McDonald's, and it's very good, yes. They have hot and sour soup from the day Mao Zedong rode into Beijing.
Now.
Yes, it's good. It's
I hope so.
Yes, it's really
I hope
good.
so. We would give them a plug if we'd ever been there to eat.
True, that is true. Maybe they'll invite us, give us an 8-course Oriental dinner.
Oh, there you go.
That would be nice. You know, you restaurateurs, if you want us to talk about your spacious accommodations, give us a buzz.
Well, honey, restaurants don't specialize in accommodations. They specialize in menus.
Well, menus, yes, and they have the accommodation of us sitting at the table, having some Pillon champagne from 1937, the old bottle that they kept since opening up.
We have actually written reviews. We did when we lived in Virginia. We wrote reviews for the newspaper down there.
Yeah, we did.
And they would send us to
all sorts of
restaurants
places.
and bed and breakfasts and
we
things like that.
We packed it on, too.
To review them. And
yeah.
we got to go to these places without having to pay anything, which was very nice.
It was delicious.
Oh, it was tasty.
But then after we stopped writing for them and moved up here, we didn't have any desire to go spend money in restaurants like that.
But my favorite one was the one we went to on Route 50.
Oh, that was
Remember?
funny, in Virginia.
Yeah, we went to this very nice place. I mean, it was lovely. And the food was, oh my goodness, rich and fabulous. And they kept bringing us more and more food. And we ate and we ate and we ate. It was wonderful. And then we went upstairs to the accommodations.
It was in horse country,
yeah,
Virginia, where men wore spats and spurs.
I
don't know what the women wore. But we looked at the menu, and everything was spectacular. I think the cheapest thing on the menu was $75.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad.
It was pricey.
I don't remember it being that bad.
I mean, and she said, oh, I'm going to give you a little of everything. And a little of everything was probably 35,000 calories, I would guess. And then we had a little of every dessert that she had. And by the time we got upstairs, we were... Oh.
By the time we groaned our way upstairs, we got up there and they had a special bed for us with a feather bed. I don't know if any of you have ever slept on a feather bed, but it's very nice. It's very soft and friendly.
Makes you sneeze.
But the only thing is, it's very hot.
Yes. So we opened the windows.
And then the trucks roared by.
All night long.
And we had indigestion like, oh my, we had indigestion like you won't believe. And we were on a trip. I didn't have anything with me that we could use to take for the indigestion.
It was stupendous indigestion, the most expensive indigestion you could ever have.
Except that we didn't have to pay for it. That was the one blessing.
It was 35,000 calories
so every time
worth of indigestion.
So we could have trouble sleeping, so we opened the windows, and then the trucks roared by, and we shut the windows, and the room got too hot, and this went on all night long.
And we opted at that point not to review restaurants anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that when we stopped?
That was when we stopped. Now we want tickets to Fenway Park.
But we gave them a nice review because they really did try very hard. It was just
we
not
gave
their
them a
fault
stunning
that we
review.
ate too much.
She was thrilled. She wanted us to come back and do it again. But somehow we never seen.
We never did that.
We never did that. So anyway.
So that's by way of saying, you know, if you have a restaurant and you would like us to come, we'd be happy to review it for you. Right here on this channel.
So what people need to be able to do is clear out the old stuff that is meaningless. And then if there's a passion for collecting, collect things that are, number one, a little hard to find to give it a challenge, and number two, inexpensive, like pins.
Yeah. Well, the thing is to be terribly specific about what you want, like only the very best of something, only the scarcest of something, only the most perfect of something.
Well, I have a rule. I don't want to own anything worth stealing.
I like that.
You know, if you don't own anything worth stealing, you can be a lot more relaxed about life. I'm serious about that.
I agree.
I used to buy and sell rare books, and at one point, the bookcase in my living room was better than a portfolio of stocks, you know. And I sold them, but then I came to realize when we started having grandchildren, and they would run, and someone would want to grab my copy of Huckleberry Finn and swirl it around in the air, you know. And I'm thinking, no, we can't do this anymore.
Right.
And so we went into another phase, and I went to postcards. And I realized that postcards are just as difficult to store as books.
I know.
And so we need to think of something that we could collect.
Something very small.
Old watch
thimbles?
bands, you know. I mean, thimbles.
People do collect thimbles.
Thimbles
actually.
are good, yes.
Yeah.
The thimbles are interesting. Now, I don't know what I do with a thimble. I put it on my finger and
well,
tap on the
I mean,
table.
I have a couple of thimbles that I use when I sew. But I do not lust for thimbles.
What do you lust for?
You.
No, I mean, let's in the material sense, what do you lust for?
What do I lust for?
Yes.
Let's see. What do I lust for?
Lobster?
No.
No? You don't lust for lobster?
No, not really. I don't lust for any particular food. I mean, I enjoy fruits and vegetables, and I like to cook and things like that, but I don't lust for any particular kind of food. No, if I would lust for anything, I would lust for time.
Time?
Yeah.
More time?
Extra time.
Extra time.
Extra time. Like, supposing there was such a thing as a little machine that you could press a button and time would stop, and then you could do whatever you wanted for a certain length of time, and then you could press it again and it would be back to normal time again. That would be perfect.
Sounds like something out of Robert Sheckley.
It does. I know. It sounds like science fiction.
Or Robert Heinlein. You know.
It sounds like science fiction. But that would be wonderful. And then I could sit down and read a book for an hour.
Well, I came up with a solution for dealing with stuff.
Yeah?
And if people would look up at their ceilings, they wouldn't see anything on their ceilings.
Mm-hmm.
And so glass-covered ceiling shelves. And if you have a shelf on your ceiling and it's covered over, you could have all of your collections and you could stare up and you could look at them. But then getting it down, I haven't worked that out
Well, you have
yet.
to have ladders to do that.
Yeah, well, you could either, or you could have the thing that they used to have in the
Storage on the
grocery store.
ceiling.
You know, the thing.
You hope that good high ceiling so nobody will bump on them.
Yeah,
right?
but that would be one way. and you'd
Otherwise,
have
you'd be
ceiling
walking around
shelves.
like this.
But I think it's interesting. We read
Depends.
about.
You couldn't put anything very heavy either, or it could fall off or down. You wouldn't want the collection descending on people's heads.
No, that would not be that would not be a good idea. But I think it's interesting. We saw an article about apartments in New York that are over $2,000 a month, that are 200 plus square feet.
Yeah, and old San Francisco
and
too.
San Francisco too. So isn't that amazing?
Yeah, they're trying to change. They want to change the laws in New York to make it legal to have an apartment that's something like 200 and some odd feet.
Right.
Square feet. And in San Francisco, they're actually creating apartments.
Right, for 2,000 plus a month.
For single, just one person, and they're very small. Because they said that the apartments were so expensive.
We'd have to go in TV production to be able to pay for that kind of thing.
They said the apartments were so expensive that no one could afford them. A single person couldn't afford them anymore, so they wanted to build inexpensive, by their standards,
$4,000 to $8,000 a month.
Tiny apartments
for a
people.
nice apartment, something you and I would like living in, and we could get 2 or 3 other people to come join us, in the spare room.
In the spare room of what? 220 feet? Doesn't have a spare room?
No, I'm talking about the apartments now up on Nob Hill. And they're nice, big, roomy 3-deckers like they have in Worcester.
Yeah.
But those apartments are $4,000 to $8,000 a month.
In Grafton?
No, in San Francisco.
Oh, that's
so
good.
now they're offering people a deal, and you can get a wonderful apartment now for $2,000 a month.
But it's so little that you can barely turn around in it.
It's 200 square feet, but you press a button and the bed turns into a couch.
Yeah.
And
Well, you can't give very big parties, that's a fact.
unless there's a huge roof garden or something.
You have to give parties elsewhere.
Yeah, well, that is tricky, I guess. But we have such wonderful cooking things. I'll be so glad to see you doing it again.
I do love to cook, that's a fact.
Yeah, and we have some of the best pots and pans.
We do?
Yeah, in storage.
We do?
Yeah.
In storage?
Yeah.
What pots and pans do we have in storage? I thought I had all my best pots and pans.
You have a red wok?
Oh, the wok, yes, we
wok.
do. The wok is in storage,
I
that's
miss
right.
the wok. I
Well,
like to walk.
I didn't have any place to hang it up. Yeah, and then the crock pot.
Yeah, the crock pot.
I have a crock pot in storage that's very useful.
Yeah.
And I don't have counter space to put. Right. Well,
but all that's changing.
that's going to change when we
Yes,
move, whenever that
when-
occurs for
when
us.
that occurs.
Yeah.
And
But it's been very valuable to me to learn to live small and to be content with less space.
and stuff.
and less stuff.
Less
And it
stuff.
also makes it easier for me to prune. Now we've been working on our clothes, and I'm really happy to look at what I wear and how often I wear something, to recognize that no, I don't need to wear this because I might not wear it but once or twice a year. If I'm only going to wear it once or twice a year, it does not seem correct to keep it somehow. How about you? What do you think?
I'm pondering this.
You make good pondering faces.
I have certain fetishes around clothes.
You do?
Yeah.
What is that?
Leather jackets.
Well,
I
yeah.
love leather.
You do?
I love leather.
Uh-huh.
Hardly ever wear it, but I do love it.
Well, now, wait a minute. You've got a nice new one recently.
Right.
You can't wear it in the warm weather. Would you wear it in the cooler weather?
Well,
It's coming.
it needs to loosen up a little bit.
It does?
Yeah. It's wonderful, but it needs to loosen up a little.
Well, maybe when you wear it, it will loosen up.
I hope so. Oh, that and a sweater. But I'm thinking about what you asked me, and I like good jeans. I like to wear jeans, sweaters. Considering who I once was and what I wore then, my wardrobe has done a complete flip.
What's that mean?
Well, I used to wear ties and jackets, and
Well, not for very long that I've known you.
well,
I don't know you ever to wear ties and
you
jackets.
didn't know me in my 20s and 30s.
No, I didn't.
You met me in my 30s.
I met you when you were 36, and you had long since given up wearing ties and jackets.
I suppose. No, I have a few. I still have some now. They live in the closet.
You have jackets,
Yeah, I have
but
some
you don't
ties.
wear them. But you don't
Well,
wear them.
When I go to a funeral, I do.
Well, yeah.
When
But
I
that's
go
about
to a
it.
wake or a wedding, you know,
I mean, maybe you can get
certainly
rid of
do.
some of those jackets that you don't wear. Or do you lust for your jacket?
No, I don't. I don't lust for my. As a matter of fact, they'd fit Chris. they really would. I'd like to wardrobe you, Chris, and you would look absolutely 47% American. And he's laughing, but
Yes.
you come over and I will redo you. Yes, and that would be nice. That would be really good. But I'm happy, and I want you to know that.
I'm really glad you're happy.
I think
That means a lot to me.
I hope so.
Oh, it does.
I
It
think
means a great
happiness
deal to
beats
me.
out stuff every day of the week.
Well, happiness doesn't come from having what you like. I didn't originate this. It comes from liking what you have. I forget who said that, but it's right on, you know.
Yeah. Well, you have to like what you
whatever.
have.
Remember that little kid who had all those toys he was selling, and
Oh, that was sad, wasn't it?
it was at a yard sale, and Stephen saw all these wonderful toys, and he said,
Many of which we bought for the grandchildren because they were virtually unopened.
Why are you selling your toys? Oh, they're old. When did you get them? For my birthday, and his birthday was like a few months before. But
And Christmas.
it didn't make him happy. It was
No,
to
it was
him it was
stuff.
just stuff.
Right.
And remember what Ramdas said about stuff
Oh,
and
yeah.
how he had hauled it around from place to place? Finally, he just, off it went, you know.
But I think it's good to know what you really want. Somehow or other, I like having a couple of bookcases full of books. It gives me a sense of, well, if we're going to be snowed in, as long as we have electricity, I can read. And if we don't have electricity, I've got a flashlight. I can still read.
Like you used to read under the covers when you were a kid?
But what I find interesting is people look at what's left of my little library, and they say, you don't need that anymore. We've got Wikipedia now. And granted, I could just take my phone and bring up any information I wanted, but it's different.
It's different. I agree. I mean, I like reading things.
It's not different if you're 14 years old and you're raised to do this.
Yeah.
But it's different from...
Well, there's something really nice about having the book in front of you and you know that it isn't suddenly going to disappear on you the way, you know, if you could be looking on your computer and all of a sudden everything is gone and you have to find it all over again, or you clicked on the wrong button and it all went away, or... Oh, dear. But having a book is so solid. It's there.
It's real.
It's real.
Unless there's a deluge. Paper can't fight water. Water can always
True.
overwhelm paper.
True.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to trimming it down and living a Spartan existence.
Something tells me your existence and mine have never been Spartan. Spartan isn't about lack of stuff, for heaven's sake. Spartan is more about asceticism, and we are not ascetic.
I want to say one thing to
What's
you.
that?
When we had close to a 3,000 square foot home
We sure filled it up.
here in town, yeah, we did, and we would decide, okay, we've got to clean. It would take us the better part of a day
Oh, yeah.
to dust and vacuum.
Right. At
It would
least.
still look messy, but now we can clean in 15 minutes.
I know. Almost, anyway.
You know, 12, 25 minutes. So there's virtue to
Yeah.
small.
There is definite virtue to small. Definite virtue to small.
But I am feeling very optimistic. I am looking forward to our future.
Mm-hmm.
I love Grafton, Massachusetts. I'm very glad we ended up here
I'm happy to hear you say
through a
that.
total fluke, but I'm glad we did. And I think
Well, I think we've given some things to Grafton too. You know, people enjoy our shows, or they tell us they do anyway. I hope they're telling the truth. Someone said it to us yesterday when we were on our way into the market. They said, "I see you on television."
well, that's why we live here, so she can stand at the lettuce display and women run up to her and ask what they do with their croquettes.
I don't know croquettes. I don't
Oh, no,
do
you
croquettes.
know. Oh, you know
No. I
croquettes,
don't do
yes.
croquettes. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you do. You're the
In fact, I don't know anybody who does.
You were actually the
I don't think people
croquet
eat
queen
croquettes
growing
anymore.
up, but
That's
different.
different. No,
that's
no,
a
that's
little
different.
a little wooden mallet.
That's a
and
wooden
ball.
mallet and
Yeah.
a ball. Yes, a wooden
But your
ball, yeah.
croquettes are really good.
Honey, you've never eaten a croquette from me.
I fantasize them all the time. I fantasize all the time chicken croquettes.
Oh, dear.
And you bring them out and they're fancy and you have braised radishes.
I mean, I've read about croquettes. You can read about them in Fanny Farmer. And I think they're shaped like this, but I'm not sure.
And braised radishes with them.
And braised radishes.
Yes.
To braise the radishes is to ruin them. You
No, no,
love your
no.
radishes.
You
I
can
wouldn't
cook a
braise your
radish.
radishes. I know you can, but it's not a good idea.
Oh, they're delicious.
Why?
You never had braised radishes?
They're about as delicious as braised cucumbers, honey, and I
Now
don't
that,
like those
there
very
you've
much.
got something. You've got something.
I
A
mean, there are
braised
some things that are good
cucumber
raw,
pie
but I
is
wouldn't be going and
wonderful.
cooking them. Not normally.
Well, you see, I gave up eating hot, spicy food for the sake of my breathing.
Well,
and
also
allergies.
for the sake of you discovered it gave you more appetite.
Yeah, I'd be very hungry. Chomp on a jalapeno pepper and see how hungry you will feel. You'll just want to devour.
Yeah, the hot stuff really perks up your appetite if that's what you want.
And I miss it.
But if you don't want
But-
to perk up your appetite and you're actually wanting to lose a
I
little
want my
weight
appetite to go to Florida without me.
without you,
Yes.
without you.
I'll be here. My appetite will be in Florida, and
Well, actually, you must remember, darling, it's a good thing to have some appetite. You don't.
Oh.
It's just you don't want to have an overwhelming appetite.
my appetite
right?
is a beautiful little green stone, and it's called appetite. I don't know how they ever called it. I think the gemologist who
Yeah,
found
it isn't spelt like the word, though. I think it's spelt with
No.
only one P.
I might get my gag line in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The gemologist who discovered it was hungry at the time, and his assistant said, "What do you want to call this?" He said, "Appetite, appetite," and they called
I
it
like-
appetite.
I like your joke. That's a good
Thank
one.
you. I was waiting for that all morning. I was waiting to share that one.
Oh, dear.
All morning.
I
I
almost
was
ruined
waiting.
it.
No,
I
you didn't
didn't.
ruin my joke. No.
Good.
I'm
Good.
waiting for you to throw one of yours
I
out.
wouldn't want to ruin your... I'm not very good at making up jokes.
You make
Every
great
once
puns.
in so often I
You
make a
do.
pun.
You make superb puns. Open the door. You know, really, you make superb puns.
Well, of course, having you said that, I can't think of a single thing. So
Sometimes your puns inflict punishment.
And punishment, yes, punishment, right.
Anyway, anyway.
Punishing.
Punishing, yes. Pernicious. Is there such a word?
Pernicious?
Yes.
There might be. There
One
might
who
be.
laughs at language is pernicious? No, I guess not.
No, pernicious would be a series of puns.
Yeah. We're winding down here. Do you have any last thing to say about our stuff? Really?
Well,
Ceiling shelves,
all
new.
I can say is, if you don't acquire it, you won't have it, and if you don't have it, you don't have to get rid of it.
So if you don't acquire, what you don't acquire
What you
won't
don't
expire.
what you don't acquire,
Now there's a bumper sticker.
what you don't acquire, you don't have to get rid of, and it's a lot less work that way.
Right, but just think.
Think small. Think
Right.
small.
What you don't acquire
That isn't good for the
won't
economy, though.
expire. Right?
What?
If you don't acquire it, it won't expire.
This is true.
I'm rhyming, you know.
This is true. Yeah.
Trying to be
yeah.
witty here.
You are witty. You don't have to try.
Oh no, I think witty. Anyway, I think
Is
we
it
better
time to kiss?
It's time.
Oh, I love
Chris,
it when-
for the next 4 minutes, we're going to be kissing. 3 minutes.
We have 3
we're gonna
minutes.
Kiss.
Oh,
Great.
that's not a 3-minute kiss. Oh dear, did I make you cold? What's going on here? We have to try that one again.
I'm brimming with a lot of news.
You are?
Brimming.
Brimming? What are you brimming with?
Well, it's like a percolator.
What's the news?
About the square of the hypotenuse.
Oh dear.
I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, animal, vegetable, and mineral about the kings of England. I quote the fights historical from Marathon to Waterloo in orders categorical.
Oh my goodness.
You never sang that?
No, I never did. I sang Order in Court. I was the...
I don't know that tune.
No, I played the usher.
Oh.
I played the usher in the Pirates of Penzance or something, some other movie. Some other play in school.
I guess if you order in court, you want the DA to bring
And I
in
was
the
supposed
bacon.
to sing out, and I was picked because I had a good loud voice.
Missed that one too.
Order in court, you know, that kind of thing, nice and loud.
But if you order in court, the DA brings in the bacon, and never mind. Bad pun. 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh, okay, I got it. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get it when you first said it.
I mean, we're practicing for Oprah here. You know, her new book, Hot Wings Lemonade Stand, is almost ready to be published.
Well, I'm working. I'm almost finished.
Yeah,
It's
almost ready.
finished. And then I have to start.
And you'll be on Oprah then.
checking it out. Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah, or okra, or asparagus. You'll be on something then.
I'll be on something.
Your next book's going to be about asparagus after lemons?
No.
No?
No. You can't write a whole book about asparagus. Only one chapter.
How about grapes, sour and sweet?
Grape, sour, and sweet. I like that.
Yeah. Grapes
That's
and-
actually a very clever idea for a title.
Yeah.
Grape, sour, and sweet.
Yes. Oh, come here. It's been fun. We'll see you later. We could go on. What are you doing this afternoon?
I'm with you.
Can you get away from your husband and hang out with me? Might be nice.